A warm welcome, the Italian Dev here. In this video I will show you how to easily implement a WalletConnect authentication flow in a React web application using Moralis. What is WalletConnect and why is it a must-have feature in your decentralized application? WalletConnect is an open protocol that allows secure communication between wallets and decentralized application. The payloads are exchanged through a WebSocket Bridge Server and are symmetrically encrypted via a shared key between the two peers. A decentralized application, in this context known as INITIATOR, is the first peer who requests the connection to the bridge server and then, using a QR code, shows a WalletConnect Standard URI containing all the required parameters to the wallet, the second peer, that now has all the needed information to establish a connection with the bridge server 2 and start communicating with the decentralized application. Now that you know what WalletConnect is and how it works, let me just explain why it is an amazing implementation to have in your decentralized application. Give users the choice to use your Dapp with their favorite wallet without installing browser extensions. Hundreds of decentralized applications already use WalletConnect. WalletConnect is built into more than hundreds wallets and is blockchain agnostic. Enough said now. Remember to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's go straight into the code. Let's start by creating a brand new React.js application. So open your terminal, navigate inside the folder in which you want to create this new project, and then type the command npx create React App, then add the flag -- scripts - version 4.0.3, and then let's simply call this application React Wallet Connect. Press enter and let's wait for the packages to be installed. Now let me briefly explain why we need to add this flag scripts version 4.0.3. Well, simply because we want Webpack version 4 bundling our React application. You may ask why? Well, because one of the three packages that we need to give to our React application the Web3 power of authenticating user through WalletConnect authentication flow, for compatibility reason, needs Webpack version 4 and not version 5. So if we just type and run the command like we are used to do, npx create React App and then the name of our project, create React App will initialize the new React application with the package React scripts at its latest version, that at the time of this recording is the 5.0.1. So it means that we will have Webpack version 5, and so compatibility problem with the package React Moralis, inside our React application. So to simply solve this issue, we force the create React App command to initialize a new React application with the package React scripts at the version we chose, the 4.0.3. Well, now that all the packages are installed and our React application is ready to go, let's clear the terminal. Navigate, so cd inside this newly created project, and we can start by installing the packages that we need, so Moralis, React Moralis and WalletConnect Web3 provider package, to easily bring the WalletConnect authentication flow inside our React application. So npm install -- save, and then, as I said, Moralis, then React Moralis, and then at WalletConnect / Web3 provider. Press enter and let's wait for these three packages to be installed. Now our React application, let's say the initial setup of our application is done. So let's clear the terminal and open this project inside the code editor of choice. I think most of you are going to use Visual Studio Code. So type code dot. I'm gonna use neovim, so nvim dot, and here we are inside our project. Let me maximize the screen. The first thing we are gonna do is to clean up all this boilerplate code we have right here. So let's start by deleting before some files and then some code. App.css, we don't need it, so let's delete it. Then the app.test.js, and as you can see, I am inside the source folder. Then we don't need this logo.svg, and again also the setup test.js file. Nice. Now that I have the app.js file already open, let's before remove these two imports at the top, since logo.svg and app.css files doesn't exist anymore, and we can select all this JSX boilerplate code, remove it, and simply instruct our app function component to return a div, and inside this div a simple paragraph with the text hello world. Let's save the file. Nice. Open the terminal and run the command npm start. So this command will fire up our React application and serve it on localhost port 3000. If we did everything right, as you can see here, the hello world text inside the JSX paragraph element is showing inside the DOM. Now, let me just spend a few words on how this tutorial will evolve and the learning path it will follow. When I start working on a new video, I always remember myself to code with you a web app that has a bit of styling, so to emulate a real case scenario in which we don't just deliver an unstyled prototype. But this time, while I was recording it, I felt like I was moving too far from the core concept of this tutorial. I was moving too far from the feelings I would like to convey to you with this tutorial. I want to show you how incredibly easy it is to implement a WalletConnect authentication flow in a React web application using Moralis, and how Web3 is made surprisingly easy by the Moralis crew. So the plan is, let me show you the core concept first, and then at the end, if you still want to stay with me, we will implement Tailwindcss and give to this web app a little bit of styling. Nothing too crazy, don't worry. Now it's really time to dirty our hands with some code and finally implement WalletConnect authentication flow inside our React application. So let's move to the index.js file, and right here inside our root.render method, let's define a new component that is given us by React Moralis package that we previously installed. So open, tag, and then Moralis provider, close, and move this app component right down inside this Moralis provided component, so to wrap our entire React application that is represented by this app component inside this Moralis provider. Let's save the file, so to format a bit our code, and let's talk briefly about this Moralis provider. As you can see and understand by the name Moralis provider, this component is simply a context provider that allows us to have a global data shared inside our tree of React components. So it means that the data given us by this Moralis provider is available on all the components that will compose our React application. Now, in this case, we have just one component that is the app one, since we are really, in the strict sense of the word, building a single page application, because our single page app is rendered by the app.js component. But imagine a more real case scenario in which we'll have more components and each of them perform some specific and particular task. Instead of drilling down all the props that you need from one component to another, thanks to this context provider, you can consume this global data in each single component. So, said that, as you can see, I have already the auto import set up in my NeoVim. So, as you can see, we have at the top this import Moralis provider from React Moralis. Now, well, this Moralis provider needs two props to work. And these props are namely the app ID props and then the server URL. These props are needed to this Moralis provider to understand to which application and to which server talk. Now you may ask, well, okay, where we can find these values? Simply, let's move to the browser, navigate to Moralis, and once we are here, I'm not gonna go too deep explaining what Moralis is and what you can do with Moralis. Using few simple words, and that the words that the Moralis crew choose to better represent their product, so Moralis is like the Firebase of crypto. It means that you can have with Moralis a complete managed backend from blockchain project and an easy to use SDK to inject all the Web3 features needed for your application to become a decentralized application. If you want to explore most of the features that Moralis give us, on my channel you can find a lot of tutorial. One is more than 2 hours long, in which we can build together a complete dashboard that is capable to read data from the Ethereum blockchain like wallet address, Ether balance, NFTs, and also send Ether. Then there is another that in which I show you how to connect Solana user to Phantom Wallet and many more. But now let's move forward, because, as I said, one of the features that Moralis provides us is the one to implement the WalletConnect authentication really easily in a React.js application. If you already have a Moralis account, you can simply log in clicking this button. If not, you can sign up here and it's completely for free. I already have an account, so let me click login and log in inside my dashboard. Once you are here, you can simply click this button, create a new server. We can go for a testnet server, is completely fine. Now it requires a Moralis instance name. Let's call it React Wallet Connect. Select region. You may choose the one that's nearest to your location. For me, it's Frankfurt. Select network, testnet is totally fine. And again, we can choose to go for the Ring-B test network. Then, just clicking this Add Instance button, we have a complete and managed backend for our blockchain projects ready to go. And now you may ask, and again ask, well, we are here to grab the app ID and server URL. Where can I find this value to have my application ready to move in step inside the Web3 world? Just clicking this View Details button, as you can see, this model shows us exactly what we need, among other additional options that we don't need right now. So, the server URL is right here and application ID too. So, let's move back to our project, and as always, as best practice, it's better to store our configuration values inside in a environment variables. So let's move back to our tree. At the root level, let's create a new file, simply called .env. Press enter. And now navigate inside this .env file and let's create two environment variables. The first one is React underscore app underscore ID equal, and the second one is and the second one is React underscore app underscore server URL. Again, it's equal and the quotes. Now let's move back to our browser. So let's copy server URL and paste it right here. Perfect. Then let's copy application ID and paste it inside here. Let's save. Perfect. And now we have our environment variables ready to be consumed inside our React application. So for application ID, let's pass a JavaScript value that is process.env.react underscore app underscore ID, and for the server URL, let's pass again process.env.react underscore app underscore server underscore URL. Nice, let's save so to format our code, and now our Moralis provider is correctly set up and our React application is successfully glued to the application we just created on the Moralis website. So we can start now to consume this context inside our components. Let's move to the application function, so app function, and we can use a useful hook, again provided by React Moralis. So const open and close curly braces, so it means we are gonna destructure some values returned back from a hook, and the hook we need is use Moralis. Again, press enter, so the auto import work, and this hook provides us a lot of useful values and method. One value we can start to explore is the isAuthenticated Boolean value. As you can simply understand from how this constant, this value is named, this value will tell us if the user is authenticated or not. So just to test if everything we have done so far is right, we can simply console.log this is authenticated. And we expect in our console, let's also restart the app from our terminal. So kill the process and start it again with npm start. So now we can expect to read from our console the isAuthenticated value. Let's wait for this app to be ready to go. And as you can see, we have false, 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 false. So it means that the user that is browsing right now this web page is not authenticated. And this is exactly what we want. Now that we know how to check if a user is authenticated or not, thanks to this isAuthenticated Boolean value, what we can do is simply delete all this code and perform a simple check saying if the user is not authenticated, return a button saying Auth with WalletConnect. Else, and this is an implicit else because this value can only be true or false, return for now a simple div with the paragraph inside say, welcome dear Web3 user. Perfect. So now, if we move back to the browser, as you can see, we have this button, Auth with WalletConnect, since the user is not authenticated. So now, our problem to face, our task to perform is to authenticate the user. Well, and now again, use Moralis hook comes in help with a method called authenticate. So what we can do is to create a simple anonymous function. Let's call it const wallet connect auth is equal to asynchronous function, since the authenticate method will return a promise, and inside here, just in case, let's try catch so we can intercept any error, okay, and in the catch block, let's just console error, the error that is given back by the authenticate method in case an error occur. Instead, in the try blocks, let's just await auth, authenticate, and now let's pass some option to an object. The first option is provider, because this authenticate method allows us to authenticate user using Magic Link, MetaMask, and also WalletConnect. So for now, let's just select WalletConnect. That is the what we want for this tutorial. And then let's pass also the prop sign message that is shown to the user to sign the request once the connection is being initialized. And let's say auth required by the Italian dev. Cool. So now that we have our WalletConnect auth function ready to be fired, we can pass it inside the non-click JSX event and say WalletConnect auth. Cool. Now let me prepare my mobile phone so I can scan the QR code given by the WalletConnect model. Let's move to the browser. And now, look what happened if I click to this Auth with WalletConnect button. A modal is showing up, and as you can see here, we have this URI, and this URI is as you can see, as you can read from this WC, a WalletConnect Standard URI, defined by the Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1328, and you can search for it EIP-1328, and look, is this one right here, Ethereum Improvement Proposal, in which the WalletConnect Standard URI format is defined. So if you want to understand more on how this URI is composed, you can read this page. I will leave this link in the description down below, but I can, let's say, briefly explain how this URI is assembled. So this URI assembles together all the parameters required to establish the connection. As you can see, the first parameter, this one, up till this set, is the one-time used topic, and this used for handshake, so to establish the connection. Then we have this @1, that is the version. Then, after the question mark, we have this bridge equal that goes till this unsign, and this is the an encoded URL that defines the URL to the bridge, that is a WebSocket server that manages the connection between the two peers. And then after this we have the key parameter, that is the symmetric X string key to secure this connection. So now, look what happens if I take my phone, I log in inside my MetaMask wallet, I can tap this button right here to scan the QR code. If I scan the QR code, look, a new sign-in request is showing up on my phone. So I simply click connect. Then, as you can see, message, we have the string defined inside the sign-in message passed to the authenticate method, auth required by the Italian dev. So if I sign this transaction, I'm logged in, successfully logged in, and as you can see, we have this message that is showing up right here. And so this is authenticated now is true. So this if is bypassed, so since this value is now true, and this div with a paragraph element, welcome dear Web3 user, is shown correctly. And look what happened. If I refresh the page, we are still authenticated because this session is kept alive thanks to this object right here, in which is defined the ID of the user and then useful auth data, Ethereum address, session object, username, and more on. So now that we are able to authenticate our Web3 user, thanks to WalletConnect, we can grab more data from the authenticated user. So again, from use Moralis, we can grab user, that is an object with many useful data related to our user, and then also the logout method that allow us to log out from the already established connection. So let's tackle again the logout method as we did for WalletConnect Auth, and let's define a new anonymous function, and let's call it WalletConnect logout. Okay, and again, an async anonymous function is defined, and just in case of an error, let's write our try catch block again. Inside the catch block, let's just console.error the error we have, and then inside the try method, just await for what, and let's call the logout given us by the Moralis hook. So let's say this file, and now we can move inside the return paragraph that is fired if the user is connect. Let's return the wallet address, then also let's return the chain name, and again a button that fires the logout. So we can pass to the onClick JSX event handler the WalletConnect logout anonymous function we define up above. So now let's check if the logout is correctly working. Inside our mobile phone, if I navigate to menu settings and go to experimental, click view session, as you can see we have a React App WalletConnect session up and running. If I click to the logout button, the session is closed, and if I move back inside this view session, look, we don't have any active session and our logout button is correctly working. Now let's move back to our code editor and let's see how we can grab data from the user object. So inside wallet address, we can type user.get and get what? The eth address value. Let's save, and then we can grab the chain value exploiting another useful hooks provided by Moralis. So again, const open close curly braces equal use chain hook, and from use chain hook let's grab the chain option Okay, so we can move back again to this paragraph and return what? Chain, and pass the chain value, if we are able to read it, dot name. Let's save and go back to our browser. So now, if I click again to this Auth wallet, I have the QR code. Let's scan it. A request to sign the transaction is showing up, and as you can see now, the wallet address is 0029 and is correctly showing, and we are under the Ethereum mainnet chain. Look what happened if I, on MetaMask, try to change the network. Look, now we are under the Ropsten test network, Ethereum testnet Ropsten. Again, Kovan working totally fine. And if I click on Binance Smart Chain, and this really showing up as we want. So our authentication flow is working very, very good. And you see how easily it is to perform all this Web3 stuff with Moralis. Now we can log out again. And now let me show something else. Let's close the MetaMask application and try with the Kronos wallet, the crypto.com wallet. Let me log in. Okay, remind me later. Now let me press again this Auth with WalletConnect button. Okay. Now I can scan the QR code. And look, waiting the connection. It asks me to React App would like to connect to your wallet. Click connect. Confirm transaction. Confirm. And now we are connected using the crypto.com DeFi wallet. Cool. Click disconnect. Okay. Log out. Nice. Well, we can call done this first part of this tutorial now, and I hope that all the core concepts are crystal clear and you exactly know how to authenticate user in React.js application using WalletConnect. So we can move forward and give to this application a little bit of styling. So it's time to install Tailwindcss inside this React application. And remember, this is important that in a while you will understand why. We have Webpack version 4. Remember, at the beginning we added to the used npx create React app the flag --scripts version 4.0.3. So it means that we have Webpack version 4, and so we cannot install Tailwind CSS at its latest version, that is the version 3, but we need to install Tailwind CSS at the version 2. So let's navigate to the Tailwind CSS website, and as you can see, if you click docs, here you have the latest version, so 3.0.24, but we have to select the version 2.2.19, so we will be redirected to this URL, version 2 tailwindcss.com, and again click docs page. In this navbar, select the installation button and then create React App. So we can now start to copy-paste some commands so to have Tailwind CSS version 2 inside our React application. So let's go back to the code editor, kill the running process, paste the command we have just copied, then let's wait for this dependency packages to be installed, and meanwhile we can move forward and see the next step. Here it says install and configure Krakow. Now Why do we need Krakow? Krakow is the acronym for Create React App Configuration Override, and this is a useful package that allows us to override configuration file, and in this case we need it because we need to override the PostCSS configuration file without run the eject command to do so. So we can copy this command too, navigate back to our terminal. So let's clear it and paste this new command. Let's wait so again for Krakow to be installed. And then it say, once it's installed, we need to update our scripts object defined inside the package.json file, because we need to remove this React scripts command and replace it with the Krakow command. Now it suggests to do it for the start, build, test, and all the commands you have, but for this development purpose, we are gonna replace only this start one, since we are not gonna neither build or test our application. So let's clear again the terminal, close it, navigate to the package.json file, find the scripts object, add the start key where it say React scripts start. Let's change it with the Krakow 1. So now when we will run npm start, the command that will run under the hood will be Krakow start. Done so, I think the next step here is to create the krakow.config.js, so this Krakow command will know which configuration to override. So let's copy this code, then open again, go back to the code editor, and at the root level of our project, let's create this new file. So krakow.config.js. Okay, open it and paste the code we have just copied. And so this part is done too. And then as one of the last steps is to create the tailwind.config.js. So again, let's copy this file, go back to the terminal, create this new file at the root level. So tailwind.config.js, open it, paste the code, save the file. Then let's add this line to the purge key right here. So let's go inside this array and paste this line of code we have just copied. And then I think we need just to write this add tailwind classes inside the index.css file. So let's go to the index.css file, paste this code, so the 3 add tailwind directives, and delete all the boilerplate code that was previously generated. Let's save the file, and just to test, let's start closing some tabs that we don't need. We can close this, we can close tailwind config, Krakow config, package.json. So what we can do is, for example, just to test, move to this button right here, give a class name prop and say background red 500. Let's save. Now open your terminal, run the command we are used to, so npm start. This will fire up the Krakow start scripts we have just configured in our package.json, and let's wait for our application to refresh and see if Tailwindcss is correctly installed in our application. Remember, Tailwindcss version 2. So to avoid any compatibility issue, let's wait. Perfect. And as you can see, our button has a nice red background. So we can start to give a little bit of styling to this application. So what we can do first of all is to refactor a bit this code, so to have a main container that is the same if the user is not authenticated or the user is authenticated. So the container is the same. What is gonna change are the elements that are going to be inside this container. So here we can write a ternary operator and say if the user is not authenticated, show something, else show something else. Okay, so if the user is authenticated, we can just copy paste this button right here. So auth with WalletConnect, cut it and paste it right here, and we can delete this if statement, and then move all this code, because if the user is not authenticated, return a button, else if the user is authenticated, return this one, so this paragraph, and for the wallet address, the paragraph for the chain, and at the end the button to log out. So now let's paste this code right here. Now let me save just to format the code a little bit, and then wrap all of this inside the div, because you know we need to have a root element containing all the other one. Perfect. So now what we can do is to start styling this main div. So let's do a class name prop and say take all the available width. So width screen, take the height of the screen, have a flex direction and flex column direction. Let's give a padding y 20 at the top, item center, so to center all the items in the flex column direction, and then let's give a background gradient to bottom right from, let's do blue 200 to blue, let's do 500. Let's save and check if our main container is correctly styled, and as you can see everything is working fine. Now let's work a bit on this button, so we can remove this red background, and instead let's give a background of white. On over, instead let's give a background of gray 200. Then the text is blue 500, so to match the bottom right color of the gradient. Then let's give a text to Excel, font bold, a padding X of let's do 6, and the padding Y of 2, and rounded medium corner, and on over let's give a transform duration of 300 milliseconds. Let's save and see. Cool, our button is correctly styled, and if I click, nice, the QR code fires correctly up. Now let's do just the last part, so the wallet address, the chain ID, and the button. Again, to this div, let's give a class name with a flex column, again, items center, gap of 2, and okay. Then for the paragraph we can give again a class name of just, let's do a font bold, The same for the chain ID, class name again, font bold, and for the button we can just copy, paste this class name, since we can use the same style. So let's go till the end and copy and paste right here. Okay, let's save. Now let me just take again my phone so we can authenticate with WalletConnect and so check if everything is styled correctly. So let's go back to the browser. Let's do just a little bit of refresh. Auth with WalletConnect. Let me scan the QR code so I can connect and sign the transaction. And as you can see, we have our wallet address, chain, Ethereum mainnet, and as you know, I can change the name and it correctly shows up to the screen right here. And then if I click log out, I will be redirected to our home page. Cool. It's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed coding along with me, and remember to implement the fully functioning WalletConnect authentication flow in your React.js application. If you have any suggestion or feedback, please leave a comment in the section down below. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Bye bye, the Italian Dev.